Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in with me, Rogue FPV. I got another good one for you today. Are you one of the pilots out there that's still itching to try 6S, but all your quads are still set up with 4S KV motors? What if I told you there's a way that you could explore the benefits of 6S LiPos on your current setup without having to invest in a whole new set of motors or do any PID tuning? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to scale your motor's KV with motor output limiting in Betaflight. Stick around to the end because I'm also going to show you how to set up auto scaling by LiPo cell count with Betaflight PID profiles. Let's jump right in and get to it. Let's go ahead and plug into Betaflight and connect on up to the flight controller. All the settings we need to change will be in the PID tab. The first thing that you'll want to do is copy your current PID settings profile and save it in the other two profiles so that all three match. If you look in the upper left corner of the PID tab, you'll see two drop-down menus, one marked Profile 1 and one marked Rate Profile 1. If we drop down Profile 1, you see you have the option to select Profile 2 and Profile 3. So before we do anything, let's copy our Profile 1 to Profile 2 and 3. Make sure Profile 1 is selected, then click Copy Profile, then click Copy to Profile 2. Repeat the process and copy Profile 1 to Profile 3. We will only use Profile 1 and 2 in this example, but consistency is key, and you can always use the third profile if you want to scale for an additional cell count. Now that we've copied them, let's switch to Profile 2 so that we don't mess up our original Profile 1. You'll still be using Profile 1 for your regular LiPos. In the lower right side, we're going to click on Motor Output Limit. By default, this is set to 100. This means that the motors will be allowed to go to 100% output based on the input voltage received. In order to know what value to enter here, we just need to use a really simple formula to determine the percentage of limiting that we need. Take the KV you want, divide it by the KV on the motors you currently have, and multiply by 100. In this example, let's say that you have 4S 2450 KV motors, and you want to scale them down to 1700 kV for 6S. Let's take 1700, the KV we want, divide by 2450, the KV we have, and multiply by 100. We get 69.39, so I'll enter 69 in the Motor Output Limit tab. This tells the flight controller that when we manually select this profile, we only want to allow the motors to spin up to 69% of max output. Now, I know some of you guys that had your coffee are probably thinking, Uncle Rogie, we limited the output, but how does the flight controller know to do that when I plug in a 6S pack and not to do that when I plug in one of my regular LiPos? Well, have no fear. All we need to do now is make one more change, and the flight controller will automatically scale the output based on the number of LiPo cells you plug in. Scroll down to Miscellaneous Settings and set the cell count to match the LiPo you want to use when scaling. In this example, I want to use a 69% limit only when I plug in a 6S pack. So I'll set this value as 6S. Click Save on the bottom, and you're done. Now, when you plug in a 6S pack, the motors will be auto-scaled down to the value you set. When you go back to 4S packs, your flight controller will automatically switch back to Profile 1 with no scaling applied. Take note, you can also use Profile 3 for additional LiPo scaling, say if you wanted to scale for 5S or 8S packs. And that about does it for this episode of Just the Tip. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you found this content helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel for more. If you have any questions about anything we discussed in the video, or have ideas for future videos, let me know in the comments section down below. Check out some of the other videos in my Just the Tip playlist, filled with other helpful tips and tricks on how to make your FPV easier.